Hey, it's Erik Van Horn here with I Love Franchising, where I help people in corporate America escape corporate America through franchise ownership. And I help current business owners that have found themselves in a position where the business owns them versus them owning the business. I help them transition into a franchise that really allows them to leverage their time and run a business the way that most of them really intended to run it. Most people come to me because they want freedom, they want flexibility, they want to control their schedule, and they found themselves in a place where they don't have full control over their schedule. And really what they want is that second stream of income. So if they choose to go on vacation or they choose to quit their job, that their lifestyle does not change because of that. What this means is currently they're a slave to their work. They're making their company and their bosses more money, but themselves, they're not seeing a big increase in cash flow or equity in the company because the company's doing that, not them. They're tired of the 9-to-5 grind. Now, you may hear me say 9-to-5 grind, and most of you out there are saying, Erik, it is way more than 9-to-5. If it was 9-to-5, I'd be really happy. I'm working 50, 60 hours a week, and that takes a toll on you. A lot of times people just don't know where to start. They think, gosh, they kind of whisper to me, is this a dream to have a business that I can start while keeping my job or my current business and then exit my job or current business at some point? Well, no, this is a possibility, and it's okay that you don't know where to start. Usually what happens is they feel guilty because their family is suffering. They're doing all these things at work and they're excelling at work, but as they excel at work, their family is suffering and their family doesn't like it. They don't like it. Nobody likes it except for their boss. Their boss is really happy about it. And they just feel stuck and afraid. And so when you're stuck and you're afraid, you don't know where to start, you don't even know if it is a possibility, typically what happens is you stay put and you do nothing. The point is, there's a way out of your soul-sucking job. There's a way out of this business that now owns you when you wanted to own it. It's possible to keep your job, keep your business, and start a franchise. Now, not just any franchise, because a lot of these franchises out there are buying yourself a job. You cannot keep your job, you cannot keep your current business because they want you to work 40 hours a week in your new franchise. Those are not the types of franchises that are designed for you. I have a good friend who started a franchise and kept his job. Now, he actually quit his job sooner than expected, and I'm going to give you his story and how he did it. I first met him when we both started at the franchise that we both got started in our mid-20s, and he had a great paying job at that time, required a lot of travel, but full-time job, really good company, really good benefits, and very, very stable. And so he wanted to keep that stable job and start a franchise at the same time. So he started this franchise and he wanted to retire by the time he was 40. That's when he got into the franchise, like, I want to retire when I'm 40. And so he had a plan to do that. So as he goes into it, he opens up one location and is just, surprised, like, wow, this thing did better than I expected. And he didn't put more time into the business than what he had expected either, because the business was designed for someone with a full-time job and the demands of a full-time job. So he picked the right franchise, first of all, and he continued his job, continued traveling, didn't miss a beat at his job. And then a second year opened up another location and another location. So pretty soon, in a short few years, he had multiple locations of this franchise and making more money than he did at his job. So his plan was accelerated. He quit his job sooner than expected, went into his businesses full time. Now imagine this, going into your business, making more money than you did when you had your full-time job, and he doesn't have any more time that he needs to invest into the business. He just needs to focus his time on growing the business, more locations, and continuing to focus on his staff. And that's what he did. So he continued to build the business, make more and more money, and then he decided to retire. And he actually sold some of his businesses too. He didn't sell all of them at the same time. He sold some of his businesses and then sold more. But the point of it is, he was able to retire by the time he was 40. Now, if you're 40 or you know anything about retirement, like I'm 41, no desire to retire. He decided, I'm going to retire, and then quickly decided retirement's not all what it's cracked up to be. And actually currently we're business partners in other businesses together, and we love building teams. We do businesses now because we want to, not because we have to. I'm sure you've heard this saying, you're the average of the five people that you hang around, basically, or you spend the most time with, or whatever it is. But you're the average of the 5 people that you're the closest to or talk to the most. And so I found that to be true. I'm around people that find it very normal to have a franchise and a full-time job, or have a franchise and have other businesses, or have multiple franchise locations. Very, very normal. If you're in corporate America, you probably find it normal for people to be working 40, 50, 60 hours a week, and that's become normal to you. Well, that is not normal in my world. Did you ever wonder why a business owner can own 5 or 10 or 20 locations of the same brand? I mean, have you ever gone by the McDonald's and you thought, who owns that? And then you realize that the same guy that owns that McDonald's owns one 3 hours away. And then come to find out they own like 20 locations. The reason that they do that is because the systems are designed for multi-unit ownership. A lot of multi-unit ownership brands that were designed that way are the same brands that are designed for someone that have a full-time job. Because think of it, how can someone that's super involved in their first location, how can they now take that same time commitment and multiply it by 20? They can't. So the best semi-absentee franchises out there are designed from the very beginning for you to leverage your time and focus on the most important things. So at the end of the day, the semi-absentee franchises that have fantastic systems in place are the good ones for someone wanting to keep their job and start a business, or they have a business and now want a job. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you know anybody that's out there and thinking, gosh, is it even possible to buy a business and keep my job, or they have a business that is just taking way too much of their time, please share this with them. And hopefully you found it helpful and they find it helpful.